Hey, it's Sean Reddy, Keller Williams Reddy Group, and it's time for the latest edition of our Denver Metro Advanced Analytics Stats weekly or broken down weekly. And these stats are brought to you, as always, by our friends at First American Title. Let's get right into the data. First of all, I do want to, for those of you not seen this segment before, just so you know, when you see these reds and oranges in the cells, that is a better measure for the seller. When you start seeing blues, greens, yellows, that typically means better conditions for the buyer in that one metric. So we are breaking this down week by week, and we're going to start with this first column here, odds of selling, which is a relationship a relationship between supply and demand. So essentially how many properties are out there, how many are going under contract, broken down into odds. You can see where we've been peaking out in the mid 60s in the more seller-friendly market of the spring of this year, and steadily dropping from there. We're currently sitting at 47.2% odds of selling, and that's pretty much, looks like, right around the low for the year. Yep, that is the lowest percentage of the year. So, no, just kidding. There was a low measure on the Labor Day weekend, or Labor Day week, I should say, of 42 and change. So just under 50% odds of selling as of this week. Let me move me. And we're also looking at average daily active listings. This tells us on any given day how many properties are for sale in the market. So if you are a seller, this is who you're competing. Well, not every single one of them yet. These are how many properties are on the market that could be competition. If you're a buyer, obviously you want to see that number higher. Being it's a deep blue, I can barely see the number yet. 6583 was the count, up from 6234 last week. So let's see, that is a high for the year. The only thing I can say there is we're accumulating more and more properties as they sit on the market longer, and as new listings hit the market and less do come off. Speaking of new listings, last week, 1,041, down from the 1,244 the week before. 1,041 looks to be about average for the last couple of months. So nothing really noteworthy there. Back on market tells us how many contracts fell out of escrow and back into the market. That number was 234. These two numbers here, the 131, the 153, those are properties that came off the market, either expired listings or sellers who withdrew from the market. Nothing really noteworthy there. Obviously, hundreds, measured in the hundreds, about 200, 250, pretty much every single week. Pending sales. This is a biggie. This is how many homes go under contract any given week. You can see at the beginning of the year, we were in the 6s, 7s, and 800s. Kind of crested out around 11-ish hundred properties going to contract every week. In fact, 4 straight weeks back in April and May of 1,100 plus contracts per week, or homes going to contract per week. Nowadays, we are below 800. Looks like we've been averaging about 850-ish, I'm going to say, for the last 2.5-ish months. So that number is down to 796 last week. So less homes going to contract, more sitting on the market, more coming to market. That's why we see the decreased odds of selling. Closed sales, I don't spend too much time here because that's such a lagging measure. These closed sales did go under contract month and a half-ish ago. Yet the number last week, 678. Highest in 3 weeks, yet below average for the last couple of months. Predictive MSI, this stands for month supply of inventory. Forgive my hair, I do have hat head. I did take my hat off. Predictive month supply of inventory tells us if nothing new hit the market, how long it would take for every home that's currently for sale to sell out. That number is 1.9 months. Pretty much 2 months. It's the second highest that we've seen all year, save for that slower week of Labor Day week. And you can see at its bottom, we were in the 0.8 range, 0.8 of a month range. So still very much heavy seller's market territory. It would take 4 to 6 months to balance the market out. We're nowhere near there, yet trending in that direction. Who knows if we get there? Time will tell. Skipping over a couple columns here. I'm going to go to total showings next. This is the number of registered buyer showings on properties. You can see where we started the year, around 12,000, peaking out around 17,000 in the spring, and slowly declining from there. Last week, 11,790, pretty much matching the week before. Both those weeks higher than Labor Day week, yet lower than the preceding several months, we're going to call it. Next column, showings per listing. So take that number divided by the number of listings. You get 1.8 showings per listing. Not all, 6,500 listings did have those 1.8 showings. That is the average per. Okay, 14.8. That is the average number of showings to get to contract per listing. And then 14 is the median days on market. That's actually at a 4-week low. So the properties that did go under contract last week, median time on market was 2 weeks. Okay, next one. Of the homes that sold, 38% of them did have to reduce their price to sell. 1.3% of them sold for over ask, and 61% did not change their price in order to sell. That average price reduction last week, $41,000, pretty much on par for the last month here. That does represent a 5.6% decrease from the asking price. Okay, this is Denver Metro Y. This is a 7-county area, obviously a very huge area, and this is a macro level look. So if you're looking for something that is more catered to your specific area, your town, even your street, your home, let us know. We will prepare similar style numbers for your specific scenario. We hope that these are informative for you. We make these so that you know when it's right for you to jump in the market if you're doing any sort of attempting to time the market. Again, if you're simply buying a home, you don't have a home to sell, maybe you're a first timer or you sold a home a while back, you want to see these blues and these greens. That means it's a softer market and easier conditions to get in there and purchase a home. If you're selling a home, you want to see, you basically want to rewind the tape, go back to spring, which obviously we can't do, save for a time machine. That's if you're strictly selling a home and not buying a home. If you're doing both, if you're selling a home to buy a home, really it shouldn't matter at all because it is a straight up equity swap. The only consideration there that a lot of people have is getting out of the rate that they currently have into what mortgage rates are like now, although a lot of people are starting to leverage the equity they have, sell their home, put that equity into high percentage short-term debt, pay that off, and then go buy another home, and they're still paying way less in interest than they would if they would have kept that debt. So something to consider for some folks there. Again, hope this is informative. Really appreciate you watching to the end here. And if you do like this, make sure you hit that notification bell until it goes ding. And until next week, Sean Reddy, Keller Williams Ready Group. See ya.